Hey everybody, how's it going? Thanks for joining us tonight. My name is Colin Brooks, and I am the president of Oregon Society of Health and Physical Educators, and also on the Northwest Leadership District, Northwest District for Shape America. I'm in the Leadership Council, and I'm going to put it over to my colleague here.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining us. I'm Naomi Hartle, and I am the secretary of the Oregon SHAPE Board of Directors. And I don't have any other fancy titles.
Yeah, she's just being modest.
So I will share my screen here, and we will get this webinar started. Colin, did you want to talk about don't mind everything on the side of my screen there. All right, actually I will. How's that looking?
It's looking fantastic.
All right.
Everyone, you can enjoy our little animation here.
Yes. Okay, perfect. I don't know, did you want to talk about where this idea came from to start?
Yeah. So basically, as just a physical educator, and I just see a great need for as much possible free professional development as possible. And the digital community is just like, I don't know, it's such a great place to access professional development for free. And so yeah, we're going to be running a webinar series once a month or once every couple months, just from the Northwest District, and just hopefully getting more people connected with other physical educators and physical education professionals from around the world.
Awesome, and I'm super excited to be part of this. And when Colin asked me to help out with this webinar, I was like, absolutely. I'm getting really good at doing webinars. So I don't know if I'm getting really good at doing them, or I'm just getting used to doing them. So
you got it dialed. You're good. You're good.
And we work well together. So it works out.
Awesome. Cool. All right.
The next little slide here.
All right. Yep. So we just kind of some more of what we were talking about. Just tonight, we're just really focusing on connecting educators, physical educators. So
yeah, and I guess our mission statement, get connected, and hopefully by the end of this webinar, you will have learned how to push your professional learning forward using social media. So we're going to talk about different avenues of social media that we've used throughout the process.
Yes.
And please use hashtag Northwest, hashtag NWD PhysEd to tweet about the webinar. And if you check out Tozzle, and did we post a link online with this?
Yeah. So the link to Tozzle, which is just a great way to communicate in multiple facets, you will find the webinar itself, and you'll find a chat box, and you'll also find the conversation going on Twitter below that. So if you are watching this if you access this from Google+, you can just go to OregonShape.org, go to Professional Development, and you'll see a tab for the Northwest District webinars, and you can click on a link there and access the Tozzle there. So yeah, and as far as Twitter and everything else, I'll continue to push that out, but that link should be out there, and if it's not, just connect with me, and I'll see what I can do.
Absolutely, and this Tozzle thing is pretty neat. This is the first time we've tried this, and I think, Colin, you actually found it. I don't know where you found it, but this is just the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, I found it on Twitter.
We have the chat, we have the video, we have the hashtag all in one spot. So no longer are you going through different channels to try and figure things out, or going from tab to tab to tab, feeling like you're missing something. So hopefully you can chat in the function there. So if you have questions with us, you can still send a tweet. I have one computer going and the other computer I'm looking at. So I'm trying to multitask here. So yeah, if you have any questions, please let us know through the channel, and we'll try and answer those questions as we go through the process here.
Awesome.
All right, so you will learn, an introduction to social media platforms. I have a feeling that most of you that are tuning in have a base understanding of what you're doing. Some of you probably do it all the time in your sleep. Maybe you use sleep text. Is that an actual thing? Might be a new thing. We should ask Andy here if he sleep texts or not. How to connect with professionals within the online phys ed community, and what collaboration and sharing really looks like, and just some of the things that we've had the opportunity to be a part of and that we want to share with others, and kind of just how to get involved.
Yes. Okay. So I just want to tell you a little bit about my story. So my name's Colin Brooks, like I told you earlier, and I am currently the president of Oregon Shape, and I've spent probably I get about 14 months on Twitter now, and it just has blown my mind, or just not just Twitter, but just all the different platforms for social media, and really focusing on being connected digitally. So it's just been a great experience, and it's really elevated my teaching practices, which is great. It's connected me with like-minded individuals, and we'll talk more about that here in a second.
All right. So my story, where did I come from? So originally I came from Saskatchewan and Canada. For those of you that may not know, it was bitterly cold, and I'm happy to be moved to be in Oregon now, where it's warmer. I miss Saskatchewan, but I had the opportunity to be a part of the board of directors there, and I was the social media coordinator, and it was a great experience. And then I moved at the end of December, and now I'm in Oregon, and Colin so generously asked me to be a part of the board of directors as the secretary, so I'm really excited to be a part of this group, and just, you know, again, work with passionate teachers and try and push our state forward with what we're doing and advocate for physical education in our state. There's things happening, and it's tough kind of distinguishing what happened in Canada to what's happening in the States. And there's things that happen in Canada that kind of blow my mind. There's things that happen in the States that blow my mind. But just really advocating for our students and what we do, and, you know, being a part of Oregon Shape Board, I'm really excited to do that. So and those of you that are listening, if you're in Oregon, even if you're not in Oregon, join us, help us, you know, voice how important phys ed is, and be advocates for our students, because I think it's really important. And, you know, get on your state associations. I know I'm in a Voxer chat that I'll talk a little bit about later, but I'm on a Voxer chat that's called State Organizations, and we just talk about what we're doing with our organizations in our states and how we can kind of support each other. It's no longer are we just separate, you know, entities doing our own thing, but it's, you know, we're a big group together because we're all working towards the same thing. So get connected, I guess, is really what I'm trying to say. So.
Yes, indeed. Awesome. So yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about something else that Naomi and I are part of. It's called PhysEdGoG. If you haven't heard of it, it's a blog that focuses on best current practices in physical education. And this little picture right there is of the guy who founded it, our friend Adam Howe. And what Adam has done is he reached out to physical educators around North America, and we formed PhysEdGoG. So, and this has just been a great experience, and just great collaboration. And we've done some wonderful projects together that have been some, you know, just some great things, trying to just further our profession. And yeah, we'll talk about what we've done in a second here, but up until recently, until 3 months ago or so, or 2 months ago, I hadn't met any of these individuals in person, but yet we've become such good friends, and through social media, it's been just a wonderful experience. And we really believe in just crowdsourcing and tapping into the collective knowledge of the profession who are active through social media there, as you can see that on the left part of the screen.
Okay, so one of the things that we were kind of involved in that we were able to do, so the PhysEdGoG group, we got together with William Bodie, and we kind of talked about how there's this need for like an online conference of some sort. And we got together and we created this, we titled it the PhysEdSummit. You know, you're trying to get to the top of the mountain. It's a professional, really it's a learning journey. We always strive for perfection in our teaching, and we know perfection really isn't reachable, but you're always striving to climb that mountain and trying to get to the top and get to, you know, where you know you can get. So I guess that was maybe part of the reasoning as to why we kind of chose summit and mountain and that kind of theme. But really it's an online conference by teachers for teachers, and it's a free resource for teachers to use. And we had the opportunity to do one in October, on October 25th, and that was their first one. And the response that we got kind of blew us away. And it was really neat. We were able to do using Google Hangouts. So what we're using right now to do our webinar, so Google Hangouts and Google+, we were able to have all these different sessions and had people volunteer their time to do their sessions. We had keynote. We had, how many sessions did we have? 8 sessions. And the first group block, we had teaching games for understanding, physical literacy. We had a bunch of different topics. And then the second block, we had roundtable discussions where we had a bunch of teachers that gave up their Saturday morning to come in and just have a discussion about elementary and middle school and high school. We actually had some some pre-service teachers that jumped in to have a conversation about just questions that we had for them based on where they're at with things and what they're seeing. So that was really neat. And we had a really great turnout for that. So we decided to do PhysEdSummit 2.0, which was really exciting. And that we did that one on February 21st, I believe. And I think we doubled our views. So that was pretty cool. And we added another session to that one. So we've just been very fortunate to be a part of this group. And is there anything else that you want to add to this, Colin, that I've missed about the PhysEdSummit?
No, I mean, that sounds good. It's just been a growing experience for us as educators, as well as everyone else involved in it. And it keeps evolving more than we would have ever expected. And yeah, it's just been an awesome thing to be a part of. And we're hoping to kind of continue this momentum and just giving teachers just the best opportunity they can to access free professional development as much as possible whenever they want.
Yeah, and it's never been our intention to take away from the face-to-face conferences, because I mean, Colin and I were both at Shape America. That was huge. Like to get to meet people that you've been having conversations with online for years, and you get to see them face-to-face. Nothing can take away from the face-to-face interaction that you have with people. But these online conferences or these webinars or the social media piece basically adds in a portion that was missing before. You know, we can now be in constant contact with people. We can now have those conversations really anytime we want, instead of having to wait to meet up with somebody. So that's the need that we're trying to fill right now with the PhysEdSummit and some other things that we're about to do as well here. Oh, there we go.
Drum roll.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, here's a little timeline. Here's a little timeline of what we're going to do. So as a team, and give a shout out to Matt Pomeroy, because this is really his idea. He came up with the idea of a base camp, which is essentially what we're doing right now. It's a webinar. So we're going to do some webinars or a base camp in April, May, June, and then in July at the PE Institute. Shout out to Artie if you're watching. We are going to do the first PhysEd camp. And more details about that. Yeah, we're super stoked about that. It's just a different kind of professional development opportunities for teachers. And then in September.
Oh, we forgot to change that.
Oh, snap.
Yep.
Okay. I don't know what happened. That's my
August,
bad.
No, that's okay. In August, we picked a date. Are we allowed to say the date yet?
Yeah, we're
doing it. We're doing it. You heard it here first. PhysEdSummit 3.0 is on, drum roll please.
It's going to be on August 15th.
August 15th.
So mark your calendars for August 15th. And yeah, we are super excited. We don't want to say anything yet, but it's something huge that we've never done before. And we're hoping to have a world impact. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, think global. That's it. That's all we can say. Moving on.
Yeah.
So Twitter. So what's all this Twitter stuff that we've been talking about? Really with Twitter, for me, part of my journey was I started teaching about 4 years. Well, not about 4. I started teaching 4 years ago, and halfway through my first year teaching, my basketball kids introduced me to this thing called Twitter. And I was like, I don't want to have anything to do with Twitter. I don't care what Beyonce's wearing. I don't care what Justin Bieber's eating. I don't care about any of that kind of stuff. And they're like, no, this is the best thing ever. You got to get on it. So I was like, okay, make me an account. So my students made me an account, and I was just like, this is dumb. I was like, I don't get it. So what I started doing, I was like, okay, well, I like PhysEd, so I'm going to start searching PhysEd and just PE and see what comes up. And I started finding, I found Joy Fight, I found Jared Robinson, I found just a bunch of different people that were talking about PhysEd, and I was like, huh, what is this? Like, what is happening? And from that moment to now, like, my mind is blown. I cannot believe how much Twitter has exploded with professional conversations and collaboration and the connections that we've made. I mean, you think of our whole PhysEdGoG group, we've met basically through Twitter. We did. We wouldn't have met any other way. You and Adam might have been able to meet each other, but the rest of us probably would have never met. So it's been a crazy experience. And basically, do we need to explain what Twitter is?
Yeah, I mean, maybe just a little bit about,
Okay.
well, maybe perhaps how we use it.
Okay.
So Twitter, if you've never been on Twitter, it's a social media platform where you can, you only have 140 characters to write a message. And you use hashtags to categorize different topics. And we categorize just different topics in physical education, like hashtag PhysEd, hashtag PE Geeks, and some others that are popping up more recently. So it's just, yeah, it's just a connecting point.
Mm-hmm.
It's just where you can meet others that are passionate about what you do,
Mm-hmm.
and you can kind of collaborate and just help
Mm-hmm.
become a better teacher.
Yeah, and for me, I've heard some people say Twitter's the best PD that they've ever had, and I challenge that statement in a sense that Twitter, the platform, for me isn't PD. It's the connections and collaboration with the people that I make and that I meet, and that those connections that I make with. That's the best professional development that I've had because of the conversations and the people that I've been able to collaborate on projects with, and the learning that I've had. Honestly, I wouldn't be standing where I am today if I wouldn't have got on Twitter. And as I say in some of the presentations that I talk about, I'm not saying you need to get on Twitter to further your professional career. That was just an opportunity that I was able to take, but it's furthered my learning. I mean, 4 years of teaching, I mean, in your first 4 years of teaching, your first 5 years of teaching, your learning curve goes straight up. You're learning every single day. But I don't think I would be where I am now if I wouldn't have been able to get on Twitter and have those conversations with people. So I strongly encourage that if you're watching this and you're not on Twitter, we'll give you a couple tools that will allow you to get on Twitter and show you how to do that. And please reach out to us because we would like to support you in that journey because it's been beneficial for us, and it's not only opened up a lot of doors, but just opened up a lot of connections with people, and it's bettered our students, right? And it's helped us. It's helped us reach our students in ways that we would have never imagined. So it's a pretty cool opportunity.
Yeah, and I can just echo that real quick and say that, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be here either. And without this, I mean, it's just been amazing 14 months really transforming as an educator. So I can't advocate for it enough, but yeah, we're definitely not saying also that you have to do this or you won't be able to further your practices at all. This is just a way to seek a way to get better.
Absolutely. And really anything that you do, it's what you put into it, right? If you don't put a lot into it, you're not going to get a lot out of it. Like I tell my students, if you don't put effort in, you're not going to get anything out of it. So it's the same concept with any social media piece that you do. You have to put a little time into, knowing how to figure it out, but ask people for support because that's what we're here for. If you ask any one of us how to help you with Twitter, we're all willing to help you do that. So yeah, it's just, it's a really neat opportunity, and yeah, we'll support you through it if you want support in that area. So
yeah,
pretty cool platform.
Okay, now we're going to talk about Joey Fight here. And what Joey's done is he's created a great document here for newbies to access and learn about the basics of Twitter. So we're going to share this slideshow. And if you're on the Tozzle, you're going to be able to access the documents. So if you scroll down on the Tozzle, you'll see some links that I put down towards the bottom. And also we'll just be adding the slides as well as the link at some point here. And if you're watching this recorded, you can also access all this information on the Tozzle as well. So yeah, he just lays out the just the basics of everything that you would need to know to sign up, and what you should do and shouldn't do to get started.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and basically just, basically lays out like, what is a hashtag? What is that number sign? What does RT stand for? You know, like all these different things, and basically takes you step by step through how to set up your Twitter account. So yeah, he's got a really good layout for you to use. Then Jared Robinson, I don't know when he had created this, but when I took the screenshot, there was 21,000 views on it. And I'm sure that was probably a year ago that I took the screenshot. So I'd be interested to see how many people have looked at this more.
Oh, yeah.
But what Jared Robinson created was the 14-day Twitter challenge. So when somebody tells you something new, it's always daunting when you're like, okay, there's so much to learn. Basically, he breaks it down. And if you see here, it says day 1, sign up. So basically, day 1, there's a video to show you how to sign up. So our suggestion would be to use Joey's and use Jared's and kind of combine the two together. So look at Joey's, get that going, get that set up, and then go to Jared's. You can probably skip a couple days after that because you will have gone through Joey's slideshow. And then it kind of lays out and gives you some, not challenges, but just things that you can try. Send your first tweet. Follow 5 more people, or join a Twitter chat, or, you know, different things like that. So it kind of guides you and slowly gets you, like, you know, when you go in the cold water and you put your toe in, and then you put your whole foot in, and then you get to your knees and you get up to your hips. So it slowly lets you kind of wade into the water. So we're not going to just like throw you off the edge. We're going to guide you through it. So instead of us doing that, we're providing some resources for you to do that, because really we could probably talk about how to get on Twitter and what that looks like for a couple hours. So we're going to give you a couple tools. If you need support, we're here to support you through that.
Definitely.
All right, you're up.
Okay, so another thing that Twitter offers is what we call a weekly Twitter chat, and Twitter chats in education are huge. It's amazing how many educational Twitter chats there are, how many educators there are on this platform. It's wild. So on the slideshow too, that you'll be able to access here when I add the link here in a second, you're going to be able to see all those different Twitter chats. And we're going to talk specifically here about the physical education chats.
Sorry, I was typing. So if you're in the TAWS, I was just
no worries.
No, okay, we're good.
Yeah, look at that. The little bird flew away.
See ya. All right, so one of the first chats, well, I think the first PE chat that I know, that I've heard of, is PE chat. Hashtag PE chat. So this was created by Joey Fight, the founder of the PhysicalEducator.com. And if you haven't checked out his website, please make sure you do, because he has a lot of great stuff that he's doing. And actually, he's in Munich, Germany, if I'm saying that correctly, with Nathan. Yes. Who do we've got? Who's all over there? Nathan Horn and Andy Vasily.
So some other people that are very active.
Yeah, so they're pretty awesome. So PE chat, basically what it is it's a bi-weekly chat that happens at 7 p.m. in different time zones. So we have like Australia, Singapore, the UK, Canada, and the States. So just different areas. And it hits all over the world. And at 7 p.m. your time, you can have the opportunity to be in a 1-hour Twitter chat. So basically questions are posed and you can answer questions and just have kind of a discussion and a dialogue about a certain topic. So if you look at what we have on the slide here, the first one, or the one that was happening September 8th of 2014, was successful curriculum mapping. So they had some questions, and throughout the hour, they posed these questions. So throughout the years that PE chats happened, different moderators have kind of come and gone. But I know Adam Howell, he does the one on the Pacific Coast. So he does that one, and he's been doing that one for a while. Joey does his. I know Nathan still does his Twitter chat, Ash Casey. And then I'm not sure who still does does Ross still do the Australia one? I'm never up at that time, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't answer either way. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah. So if anybody knows, maybe you can put that in the tozzle. So awesome. Yeah, but that's one of the, and it's different topics bi-weekly. So it's just a really great thing. And one of the things with these chats is there's lots of people that just lurk. And I mean, most of the time, if you hear the word lurk, you'd think that would be creepy. But I always tell people it's not creepy. When it's Twitter, it's not creepy. You're just watching and seeing what's happening. You don't have to participate in the discussion. I think I lurked for a couple chats because I really didn't know what to say. And I was like, I don't really feel comfortable saying anything. I just want to see what other people are talking about, which is fine. It's just like listening to a conversation. So, and it's not rude to listen to the conversation that you're not a part of. So eventually there's something, and I can't remember what it was, but there's a topic that I was kind of interested in and that I felt like I kind of knew stuff about. So I was able to kind of jump in a little bit and answer a couple questions or add my comments to it. So for me, it was kind of just, again, some people dive right on in, but some people kind of wade in slowly. And so really it's, it's not an expectation that you jump in fully or that you answer every single question. It's at your own pace.
Definitely. Awesome. All right, I'm typing away here. What do we got? Okay. We're going to talk about Justin Schleider. And Justin Schleider is a very active physical educator on social media. He's very passionate just about getting more people connected, and he's very passionate about what we do as physical educators. So what he started is hashtag #SlowChatPE. So sometimes when people get going on hashtag PE chat, it moves pretty quickly. And this is just another way to discuss questions that have to do with our practices as physical educators. So Justin writes a blog on Sunday night, and then he asks a question a day with hashtag #SlowChatPE. So if you were to go to Twitter right now and check that out, you would see the questions that he's asking throughout the week. And yeah, he's also active on a lot of different social media platforms, and we'll get into that as well. Do you have anything to add more about #SlowChatPE, Naomi?
I think there is just a #SlowChat Ed, and I think it's called #SlowChat Ed, but I'm not sure. But I know that's where Justin got the idea from, and he thought, hey, this is a fantastic idea. Let's do that with, our PE chat. He's like, sometimes I can't make it on Monday nights, and he's like, I'd love for a chat just to be all week long where I could just talk about it all week long. So that's where he kind of came up with the #SlowChatPE idea. So that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So then another chat that kind of stemmed up in the last, couple months, I'd say.
Uh-huh.
I think a couple months. Yep.
Yeah.
Is the elementary phys ed chat. And that's done by Ryan, Rich, and Matthew. And basically this is every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And they pose a topic, same thing, same idea, pose a topic. And this one doesn't go all day long or all week long. This is just every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So if you're around at that time, depending on your time zone, you can jump in and talk about elementary phys ed. So they've got a bunch of different topics, and the link below actually takes you to a s'more that talks about elementary phys ed chat.
Awesome. Okay. We are now going to talk about just kind of a new social media platform that's being used by education and by physical educators called Voxer. Voxer is an application that allows you to chat on your phone, either with a person one-on-one or with a large group of people. And it works like a walkie-talkie. So you press the orange button you see at the bottom part of the screen. And after that, you can just carry on conversation with others, either by text, picture, or voice. And Naomi and I can attest to the power of Voxer. We use it specifically to collaborate on projects. So whenever we're collaborating on a project, we discuss it on Voxer with a group. For instance, our PhysEdGoG Voxer group discusses just all the details of the conference on Voxer, and it's great because when one person talks, it's going to sit there, and then if you can't get to it right then, you're going to get to it in a either a couple minutes or maybe a couple hours. But either way, it's sitting there, and you can answer when you have a chance. And there's a lot of physical educators out there that are being extremely active on Voxer right now, having chats on that, like we discussed Justin Schleider earlier. He's kind of really being a voice for Voxer right now, amongst others as well. And he's also taken his #SlowChatPE onto Voxer, so where you can discuss more than just 140 characters. So yeah, what about you, Naomi? Anything to add for Voxer?
Sorry, I just wanted to pause. There's a couple questions on the chat. They're asking about the links. And yeah, you need to refresh the screen in order for that to work. Because I was like, I don't see them either. And then I refreshed, and then everything popped up. So either you can wait if you don't. I don't know what that'll do to the YouTube video. I have no idea what that'll do. So You might want to wait to the end to do that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Or you could, yeah, you probably just need to press play. But yeah, I mean, your choice. We'll see. We're all learning right now.
Yes.
Live.
Yes. So. Live show. We've never used Tozzle before, so we're just hoping it works. So, adding to the Voxer part of it, I just joined a PE technology group, and I was just like, when I had asked Matthew Bissett to add me to the group. After the fact, I was like, how am I not a part of this group? I was like, I work for Spark Programs, and in my title, I'm the PE Development and Technology Specialist. I'm like, how am I not a part of this Voxer group? How did I not know this Voxer group existed? So there's so many different groups that are happening, that are going on. There's a state organization chat. Like I had said before, that we're having a conversation about, you know, how we can push physical education forward in our states. And like Colin said, we basically use Voxer to plan for PhysEdSummit. We tried doing the Google Hangouts like every week, and to find a time that you can get like 7 or 8 people to meet is like a headache. So we would find that just using Voxer, and you just catch up on your Voxes, and basically it's like voicemail and walkie-talkie kind of combined. So it's the coolest thing ever. And if you have the opportunity, my sister and I, since it costs her money when she texts me, because she's in Canada and now I'm in the States, we actually use Voxer. So that's her chat right there. She was asking me if she could search for groups on Voxer. And I didn't think you could do that yet. So that was a little while ago when we had that conversation. But I know now, I think Jorge was saying this on, I believe it was the technology chat, that you can actually, on Android, you can actually favorite Voxes. And I was like, come on, iOS, we need to get this going, because I'm a huge Apple person. So that would be a cool thing, because then you can actually start saving some Voxes instead of trying to scroll and find the stuff that you wanted, or emailing it to yourself. So there's some pretty cool features with Voxer that's happening right now, and I'm sure it's just going to evolve into a lot of, or into a better platform. But so many people, like, Voxer has exploded. Like you said, like I thought Twitter exploded. Voxer exploded in a smaller amount of time. Like, the Voxer people must just be like pumped. They should really be charging for like a free version.
I'm sure they're figuring out a way to make money. But
hopefully they're not listening to this webinar.
Yeah, I think there's limiting factors to every social media platform, and there's the positives outweigh it, because what's happening right now is that physical educators are connecting with each other and finding out how passionate the whole world is for what we do. And it's really amazing what's happening. And I feel so fortunate to be a part of it. You know, every day there's more and more people that are becoming part of it. So it's awesome.
So if you're wondering, okay, so you're talking about Voxer now, how do I actually get on Voxer, and what does this look like? It's just an app that you can get on your phone. But Joe Bailey, so shout out to Joe Bailey. Oops, wrong one. She created some videos on how to use Voxer. So when we did we share this with them, the presentation?
Did we share? Yeah, the link's at the bottom. So
okay,
I think Brian had some luck refreshing his screen. So
okay, awesome, great. And I see a couple little pictures here. So if you click on in the kind of show notes, I guess, or the slide notes, you can see Joe Bailey's, or a link to Joe Bailey's, basically how to use Voxer. And then if you click here, it talks about some shared resource stuff. And then there's actually like a little part that you can click on to see all the different Voxer groups and who to like tweet or ask to add you to a certain group. So if you have any questions, please let us know. Or I know in the chat, there's lots of people in there that are using Voxer right now that would be more than willing to support you in your process of trying to get on Voxer. And really the best part about Voxer, I mean, I love Twitter and it's close to my heart because it's just provided me with so many different opportunities. But the cool thing about a Voxer is that I can hear somebody's voice. So, you know, if somebody shares a Voxer of somebody else's Voxer with me, I can be like, that doesn't sound like them. That sounds like that person. Like, I know who their voice is. I can turn around and at a conference hear somebody's voice and know who they are. Like, that was the coolest thing at Shape America when you're like, oh, I hear Andy Hare, you know, like, oh my God, that's Andy Hare, you know, like, that was the coolest thing ever when you can hear somebody's voice and recognize them for their voice. Whereas on Twitter, you see a profile picture and you're like, they don't really look like that picture anymore. So it's just, hearing their voice is just the coolest thing, and it's emotion. You can hear how passionate they get about something. So, all right, I think we've talked about Voxer enough.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess I can start talking about Google Hangouts. So, and Google Plus. So Google Plus is another social media platform that's used. And basically, the amazing thing about Google Plus is it allows you to do Google Hangouts. So Google Plus is just, I don't know, just another place to connect. So if you have a Gmail account, that's kind of how you access it. But then what Naomi and I are using right now is called a Google Hangout. And Google Hangouts allow you to have video chats for free with up to, is it 14 people or 12? Naomi?
You can have up to 10 people in just a regular chat. I think if you have like Google Work or something, you can have up to 12 or something like that.
Well, there you go. Yep. So up to 10 people can chat at a time. And the on-air live Hangouts are what you're seeing right now, but you can also do Hangouts that aren't on air. I mean, where you can communicate and
just private, have a conversation.
Yeah, connect like with other.
Yeah,
exactly. Connect with other physical educators to talk about best practices, which is happening as well. So if you see the picture up here, that is the PhysEdSummit 2.0, and that was our elementary roundtable. And it was such a great way to communicate with so many people and hear from so many different people about what they're doing within their physical education classroom. And yeah, I would say that I use Google Hangout 2 to 3 times a week now. You know what I mean? Just someone wants to chat about something specifically, and it's just when you want to have a detailed conversation, it's definitely my favorite for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Colin and I hung out this morning just to make sure we had everything ready for the webinar. So
that's right.
It's just a quick little thing to go through. And I know for some schools, Google is blocked. So make sure that if you are planning on doing a Google Hangout with somebody, that you have all those avenues kind of figured out ahead of time. But it's a powerful tool. It's just like Skype. And I mean, lots of people always say, well, what's the difference between Skype or FaceTime and Google Hangouts? For me, it's free. You can have, like Colin said, up to 10 people in a Hangout. And then the nice thing with the Google Hangouts on air, so right now we're broadcasting live, but we can also archive it. So once this live video is done, it goes straight to YouTube, and it's archived for everybody else to watch later. So if somebody missed it, it's right there. So there's so many just cool things that you can do. We can share our screen. And this is something that I probably should have figured out about myself a long time ago, but I'm a very visual and kinesthetic learner. So when I'm having conversations with people, if I'm talking to them on the phone or face-to-face, it's all good. But if you tell me something, I'm not going to remember. I need to write it down, or you need to like physically show me what I need to do. Whereas Google Hangouts is perfect. I mean, any type of video Hangout is perfect because I can see the person, I can talk to them, and then I can feel like I can explain myself. If I'm typing something, it just doesn't work for me. So I love Google Hangouts because I can see the person, I can see their reaction, and it feels like I'm in the same room with them. So especially when I work from home now, it's nice that you can actually like talk to people. So
awesome.
And see them.
Yeah, it's a great tool to communicate for sure.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. One thing that I found that was really cool. So let's say you have 10 people in your Hangout and you want more. There is, and I think it's called, I don't know if it's Uber Conference. There's an app that you can add in the Hangout. So actually, I'm going to, in the Hangout, so let's go to my screen here. You're going to see Colin. But if I would go to, and I forget where it is, this one, Uber Conference. And what I can do, basically it's like an online or like a phone conference call. So people can actually call in. So when I was working with Spark, we were doing like a lead trainers call. And we had all of our people, but we had 10 people in. So we're like, well, we want to add more people. So basically they were able to phone in and listen in. So they couldn't see, but they could listen in. So if you wanted to get around how to just the 10 people in your Hangout, you can add people through just calling in like a phone call. So I thought that was pretty cool. So there's different apps that you can add to your Hangout to either have a little fun. You could put little like, I could put a little hat on myself, or like a, what's the one glass thing that goes over your eye? What's that called? Like not your glass.
I'm not sure.
I don't know what it's called.
They have a mustache too, so
yes.
Watch out.
Fun little things that you can do just to be silly. But it's just, the best part is that it's free. So with everything else, if I want to have 10 people in a Hangout, it usually costs me money. So, and I like things for free.
Yes. So with this, you know, when it comes to social media and just any kind of thing that we do, right? And what we tell our students all the time is, you know, that keep working through tough times, essentially, right? Like the growth mindset, you know, and you've probably seen this in a lot of different places fail. It's just frequent attempts in learning. So we suggest that you adopt that for using social media, and just really just kind of dive in and realize that there's Naomi and I and a lot of others are there to kind of help steer you, and willing to help you get connected, and to help you improve your practices. So yeah, there's a lot of different things, and we talked about Voxer, we talked about a lot of stuff in 40 minutes, and we thought we were going to talk in 30 minutes, but that didn't work. That's okay.
I talked to you.
No, it's fine.
I should know already.
There's still people watching. We're good. But I suggest that you, if it was me, I would start with Twitter if you haven't started with Twitter, and then break off to something else, because Twitter really, honestly, I think there's like 10,000 PE teachers on Twitter, physical educators. So I would start there, and then from there you kind of get connected and get your feet wet, and then from there break off into other things and see what's going on in other places.
Yeah, and here's just a small sample of some teachers that are on Twitter right now. By no means is this like the only list that we say you follow, right? Yeah. We thought if we put more on, it might be like really confusing, because the slide's hard to look at right now. Imagine if we had more people on there. So, and it took a really long time to do. So we could only add so many names.
Yeah, it's just kind of a starting point. There is so many phenomenal. We could fill like 1,000 of these sheets out, to be honest. But yeah, we're just hoping to get you started and access those slides in the link below in the Tozzle. And you can take a look at those names.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, that's just the starting point for who to follow, and just to start and just see who they're following and what they're talking about. And it's kind of just, find what fits you best and go with it. Because really it's such a neat thing. For me, I was a teacher. I was the only phys ed teacher in my school. I was teaching, in a school of 93 kids, 10 teachers. I had nobody to bounce ideas off of for phys ed specific. And we know how much of an art our profession is, and how much, it's learning happens in every classroom. In phys ed, it looks a little different. So it's hard to talk to another teacher about what that looks like. So I had a hard time trying to communicate with other teachers in my building. So it was like, I was driving half hour or an hour just to meet with people to talk phys ed, or, talking to them on the phone. And so when I found Twitter, or I was already on Twitter, and I realized that I could actually communicate with somebody right now. I could be sitting on the couch in my pajamas and having a conversation with somebody. And that was the most powerful thing for me, because I was like, I'm not alone. I'm not alone anymore. I have people that are passionate just like me, that want to support me, and, support me in the times that I need support, and, give me a hug when I need a hug, and give me a high five when I'm having successes. So it's, failures happen. Like we said, it's frequent attempts in learning. And I always tell my students, if you're not failing, you're not learning. So I guess it's a great platform. Twitter, Voxer, Google+, Google Hangouts. It's all just an avenue to have a conversation with somebody. And the fact that we can now have conversations with people across the world in 140 characters, amazing. Like, who would have thought of that like 10 years ago? Yeah. I mean, maybe it was made 10 years ago. I don't know. I wasn't on it 10 years ago. But it's where we are with everything, and where we are with education. It's just a powerful tool that we can use to advocate for what we do, and not even what we do, but to advocate for our kids, because they deserve it. So exactly. I think, yeah, that's what I think. I don't know where I was going with that.
No, it's great.
I had a good punch at the end, but I forgot it, so I don't know.
It's powerful like it was. Hey, yeah, here's my contact information. If anyone has any questions, you can find me by emailing me or finding me on Twitter. Yeah, and I feel the same way, that who would have thought that 140 characters would lead to so much growth professionally, and connecting with so many like-minded individuals. And the more we're connected, the more that we're connected, just the more powerful we are as a group of educators. So yeah, I mean, you ask us questions, see how else we can help you, for sure. And yeah, thanks for joining us tonight, for sure. And there's been a lot of great conversation going on Tozzle in the chat. And if anyone wants some other links, I'm going to go back and add some more. please please let me know what we missed, or because like I said, this Tozzle will be up, and I don't think it ever comes down. So like we said, we're still learning. So
we're trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I think you can subscribe to this Tozzle and get updates when it's updated. So we'll just leave it up there. Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, awesome. And I was gonna say, I don't remember what I was going to say. There's something good.
Cool. All right.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, thanks again, everyone. Yeah, we appreciate you joining us, and let us know how we can help, and be looking for the Northwest District webinar, the next one coming out in a month or two, and also be looking for all the different stuff we're doing with the PhysEdSummit and the base camps, because and all the other, there's just so much going on right now. So,
I was just going to say, that's what I was going to say, is that I mean, by no means did we talk about every piece of social media that could advance your learning. There's so many different things that are happening that's out there, just even apps. Like if you've heard of Periscope, Google it. It's cool, right? Like so many things that are happening right now that are just like, it's hard to keep up with technology, but choose one thing that's going to fit you and fit what you want to do, and go from there. So it's just a great opportunity, and by no means is this an all-encompassing list, because we really just talked about 3 things. So,
exactly.
Yeah, that have worked for us.
Yeah, we could talk about it for like another couple hours. So maybe we should stop. All right.
Okay, I'm done talking. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining us, everyone, and hope it was helpful, and look forward to continuing this conversation on Tozzle and Twitter and Voxer. So talk to everyone later. Take care.
Yeah, thanks for joining.